11 at night, I'm lying in bed, phone in hand, thumb scrolling endlessly. I pass a documentary that looks interesting and save it for later. I pass a post about how to read more books and save that too. I pass a 2-hour podcast about how philosophy applies to everyday life, and I tell myself I'll definitely watch it tomorrow. Before I fall asleep, I've already saved over 7 things. When it's all said and done, I've built a fantastic library of deep, meaningful content that I'm never going to consume. I realized that even after listening to 50 podcasts in a month, I can't remember the central argument of even 10% of what I heard. And this isn't just happening to me. A friend of mine read the summaries of 5 books on Blinkist and thinks he understood Dostoevsky in 12 minutes. This is not depth. This is intellectual tourism. It's visiting ideas about a subject the way you visit a city on a day trip. You take a photo, buy the fridge magnet, and leave thinking you know the place. And here's the worst part. You think this makes you different. You look at your coworker who watches reality TV and think, at least I consume quality content. But let me tell you something you probably don't want to hear. You and him are in exactly the same place. The only difference is the label on the packaging. He consumes empty entertainment and knows it. You consume the idea of depth and think you actually understood something. I hope you don't save this video to watch later. My name is Kobe, and today I'm going to show you why everything around you, your relationships, your work, your own thinking, became so shallow. And more importantly, I'm going to show you a way out. But before we dive in, I need to introduce you to someone. A white-haired Polish man who smoked a pipe and had the face of someone who had given up being surprised by humanity. His name is Zygmunt Bauman. Professor, sociologist, a man who survived the Nazis, lived in exile, and spent the rest of his life trying to understand why, after so many achievements, the human species was still so lost. Bauman looked at our world and noticed something nobody wanted to admit. He said the ground has melted. This isn't a cute metaphor, it's a diagnosis. Everything that was solid, the job that lasted a lifetime, the marriage that was meant to be forever, the religion that explained the universe, the neighborhood where everybody knew each other, all of it melted, turned to water. Think about your grandfather's life. The man walked into a company at 20 and walked out at 60, married once, lived on the same street for decades. Was it boring? Probably. Was it limiting? Absolutely. But it had one thing we've lost: solid ground. He knew where he stood. He had a solid life and knew where he was headed. He didn't have this feeling of being lost, and he certainly didn't feel the need to change everything all the time. Now look at us, and I include myself in this these days. How many times do people switch jobs, switch cities, switch careers, switch relationships, switch identities on Instagram? I've lost count of how many times I've thought about changing my entire direction. It feels like I'll reach the end of my life and never discover what I'm actually good at. Maybe because I never went deep enough into any one thing. Today, we call this freedom. I'm free to go wherever I want, true. But freedom without roots turns into shallowness. We're not navigating, we're being carried. The current takes us wherever it wants, and we confuse being in motion with making progress. Bauman called this liquid modernity. And the diagnosis is simple. When the ground melts, nobody can plant roots. And without roots, nothing grows deep. Everything stays on the surface. Think about this with me. Why does a guy who reads books, listens to philosophy podcasts, and watches documentaries still feel shallow. It looks like he's doing everything right, but there's still one condition missing. I want to bring in Hartmut Rosa to help us think about this. German sociologist, a man who spent 20 years on one simple question. Why do we have so much of everything and feel like we have so little? His answer is that our problem isn't a lack of access. It's not a lack of information. It's not a lack of options. The problem is that we've lost the ability to be truly touched by things. He explains it like this. When something truly touches you, a song that gives you chills, a conversation that changes the way you see the world, a book that makes you stop mid-page and just stare at the ceiling, that is the opposite of being shallow. That is being reached by something deep, a feeling that's honestly hard to put into words. For that to happen, you need three things that are going extinct right now: time, repetition, and availability. You need time with that thing. Not 30 seconds, not a 5-minute summary. Real time. You need repetition, going back to it again and again, noticing new things each time you revisit it. And you need availability, which is the hardest one. Being present without rushing, without the anxiety of already thinking about the next thing while calculating how much time you have left. The big problem is that our current world was designed and engineered to eliminate exactly those three conditions. 3. The algorithm gives you new content every 2 seconds, destroying time and repetition. The productivity culture tells you that you can't spend too long on any one thing, killing availability and repetition. You're on a treadmill of novelty and you call it growth. But growth is something very different. Growth is when the roots go deeper and there's more. This illusion of depth is fed by an entire system. This is where Byung-Chul Han comes in. Korean philosopher, professor in Berlin, a man who writes short books with sentences that hit like punches to the face. Han noticed something most of us ignore. We declared war on mystery. Let me explain. We want total transparency. We want to know everything about everyone. Instagram is an X-ray of other people's lives. Tinder is a catalog of human beings sorted by photo. LinkedIn is a public resume where everyone is passionate about challenges and driven to disrupt the status quo. The same 3 phrases recycled by 60 million people. Everything is built to be as transparent as possible. Han says what is fully exposed is shallow by definition. Depth requires layers that you can only discover with time. It needs mystery, things that aren't on the surface. This is so obvious, and at the same time, not obvious at all. Think about a relationship. In the beginning, the other person is an unknown universe. Every conversation reveals something new. Every silence carries weight. You gradually discover the layers, the fears, the dreams, the contradictions. That takes months, years, and that is what creates depth. Now think about what we do today. 30 seconds on a profile, 3 photos, a bio, match, 2 days of texting, a 45-minute date, and if the person shows one flaw, a single flaw, next, back to the catalog. I've done this. You probably have too. After a while in this frantic routine, we still wonder why we can't find anyone. We're not looking for a connection. We're curating human beings, and curation is, by definition, superficial. Curation means choosing by the surface, by the packaging, by the first impression. The same goes for knowledge. We don't study. We curate ideas. We grab the summary, the highlight. We can't even watch an entire video on YouTube anymore. We just grab the clip that went viral, the part that fits in a tweet. At the end of the day, here's what we're really doing. We peel the banana, throw away the banana itself, and keep licking the peel, thinking we're being nourished. This is where we reach the the turning point. Because up until now, I've described the problem. The ground melted. We lost the ability to be touched. Transparency killed the mystery. But we need a way out of all this, I'll be honest. I've also watched videos like this one, agreed with everything, felt that chill of, wow, that's exactly it. And the next day went right back to normal because the video didn't offer a solution, something practical I could actually use. It just became another video consumed, another round of tourist depth. I'm not going to give you a pretty closing line. I'm going to give you 3 conditions. 3 things without which nothing in your life will ever have depth. I didn't invent any of them. They're old. And they're probably the exact things you've been avoiding. First condition, permanence. Choose one thing and stay. Stay long enough for it to change you, long enough for you to irritate you, frustrate you, bore you, and then on the other side of that boredom, reveal something you never would have seen any other way. Boredom is part of depth. The problem is that today everything is designed to prevent boredom. Let yourself be bored and know that you're on the right path. Isaac Newton didn't discover gravity because he was a genius who juggled 10 things at once. He discovered it because he spent 2 years locked away at his mother's farm during the plague of 1665. No distractions, no social media, no options. And in those 2 years, he produced the 3 greatest discoveries in the history of physics: calculus, optics, and universal gravitation. 2 years, 1 desk, 1 window, permanence, and without a doubt, many hours of boredom. You don't need more content, you need fewer open doors. Second condition, repetition. What is deep is not what is new, it's what is old. It's what has been seen for the 100th time. Think about a musician. A pianist doesn't get good by playing 100 different songs. He gets good by playing the same song 100 times. Every time he comes back to it, he notices a nuance he hadn't noticed before. A chord that used to be just a note becomes an emotion. That is depth, seeing more in the same thing. Darwin didn't write on the origin of species in a burst of inspiration. He spent 20 years returning to the same data, the same observations, the same questions. 20 years chewing on the same idea. And the result was a book that changed the way humanity understands itself. We're terrified of repetition because we've equated repetition with stagnation. But repetition with attention is not stagnation, it's excavation. Every layer you remove reveals another layer beneath it. Those who stop at the surface think they've seen it all. Those who dig know that the bottom doesn't actually exist. Third condition, discomfort. Depth begins exactly where you want to stop. It's the difficult conversation you need to have with someone you love. It's the book that makes you reread the same paragraph 5 times. It's the silence of a Sunday afternoon without your phone, staring at the ceiling with your own unfiltered thoughts. When your brain is doing everything it can to distract you and make you quit, that is the exact moment of pure discomfort where you're escaping shallowness. A philosophy professor I admire once said something to a group of students who were complaining that a certain text was too hard. Sit your ass down and read. If you didn't understand it, read it again. If you still didn't understand it, read it one more time. Because if a man wrote that 300 years ago and you can't understand it, the problem isn't with him. The problem is that you've never trained your ability to think. All you have to do is read. That man had to pull those ideas out of his own head and write something that 300 years later, you can't even be bothered to read. Don't accept that. even if you have to read it 1,000 times. Sit down and read until you understand. We confuse comfort with quality of life, but comfort is the direct enemy of depth. Everything that is deep, a relationship, is skill and understanding, requires you to pass through a zone of discomfort that most people run from. And most people don't run because they're weak. They run because the entire world was built to offer you the easier, more comfortable way out. The next video, the next match, the next course, the next version of yourself, permanence, repetition, and discomfort. The three things the modern world eliminated, and coincidence or not, the exact three conditions for anything to have depth. You can do whatever you want with this. You can save this video to your favorites and never come back. You can agree with everything and tomorrow go right back to the way things were. Most people will do exactly that. But if you made it this far, I already know you can handle the discomfort. I don't have a poetic final line to give you. I have a challenge for me and for you. Pick one thing, a book or a skill, just one thing, and stick with it. Not for a day, not for a week. Stay with it long enough for it to make you uncomfortable, bore you, and transform you. At least 6 months, because that's where, and only where, life stops being shallow. Leave a comment and a like to help our channel. My name is Kobe, and I'll see you in the next video.